Hi children, welcome to this English video class. This is Sirisha. Children, today we are going to start a new lesson in Unit 4 of English textbook. Our lesson name is Alice in Wonderland. Okay children? So children, in this name of lesson, we can see A in Alice is capital and W in Wonderland is also capital. That means Alice is the name of a girl and Wonderland is the name of a place. Okay, that means these both are naming words. And next point is Wonderland is made up of two words, that is wonder and land. The meaning of word wonder is something amazing or surprise. So a land which is full of surprises is Wonderland. Okay children, and the story adapted from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. So totally this story is the imaginary story. Now let us read and understand the story of Alice in Wonderland. So listen carefully children. One day Alice was lying under a tree listening to her sister reading a story. Suddenly she saw a white rabbit scamper by. He had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket, and as he hurried away, he said, "Oh dear, I will be too late." She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk. It wore a red waistcoat and it carried a watch. Alice wondered, a talking rabbit? A rabbit who wears a waistcoat? Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. So here we see one day Alice was lying under a tree. That means Alice was sat with her sister and she was listening to a story. Her sister was reading a story. Okay? And suddenly Alice saw a white rabbit scamper by. So what did she see children? Alice saw a white rabbit running very fast. And here the rabbit was very different. Why different? Because the rabbit had pink eyes and he was wearing a blue coat. And he was having a big watch in his waistcoat pocket. And one more thing is, the rabbit could talk. Yes children, here the rabbit could talk. So children, here, have you ever seen talking rabbit? No, but here the rabbit was very different. It could talk and the rabbit wore a red waistcoat and carried a watch. So Alice was thinking, how could a rabbit talk? So she became curious to know about the talking rabbit. Okay, so children, what is the meaning of curious? Already we read on why poem. So curious means who wants to get more and more information. That person is curious. So here Alice was very curious to know about the talking rabbit. And Alice followed the white rabbit. Okay children? Now let us continue our lesson. The rabbit started running and Alice followed the rabbit. The rabbit suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. Alice jumped into the rabbit hole too. The rabbit went down and down and down and down into the rabbit hole. Okay, so children, here what happened? The rabbit started running. Alice was running after the rabbit. Suddenly, the rabbit jumped into the rabbit hole and Alice also jumped with the rabbit. Okay, Alice also jumped with the rabbit. So the rabbit went down and down and down and down into the rabbit hole. So here Alice said aloud, "Where am I? How many miles down have I fallen? I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth." She wondered, will I slip through the earth to the other side? So children, Alice was also falling with the rabbit. Alice found herself falling in a deep. While falling, Alice was wondering that she must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. So children, here maybe she will slip through the earth to the other side. That means she will come out the earth to the other side. Okay? That means the hole is very deep. The hole is very deep. Continue our lesson. Thump. Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. She looked around quickly and suddenly saw the white rabbit again. It disappeared, saying, "Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting." Okay, so children, now what happened? Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. There were so many dry leaves collected in the rabbit hole, and Alice landed on them. Alice thought that this is a strange place, and she was looking for the white rabbit. And she said like this, "Where did the white rabbit go?" And she saw white rabbit again. But what happened then? The rabbit was disappeared. That means it vanished. She could not see the rabbit anywhere. And the rabbit said, "Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting." So this is the sentence that a rabbit said while disappearing. Okay. So Alice stood up and saw a small door about 15 inches high. It was too small for her to go through. Alice stood up and saw a small door about 15 inches high. Okay. Here the door is a very small, but it is only 15 inches high. That means she cannot go through the door. It was very small, and then she saw a glass table. Okay, so she saw a glass table with a golden key on it. She tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her delight it fitted. Alice opened the door and looked into the loveliest garden she had ever seen. How she longed to be among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains. But she could not even get her head through the doorway. "Oh, how I wish I could become smaller," she exclaimed loudly. So in this one, Alice found a little golden key on that glass table. She tried to open the lock of that small door with that key, and it opened. Okay. So she saw a big garden with beds of bright flowers and cool fountains. So children, what did she see next? She saw a beautiful garden. Okay, the garden was very beautiful. She had never seen such garden. She wants to get into the garden and enjoy the garden. So she imagined, she wished she could become smaller, because the door is very small. That's why she could not even get her head through the doorway. That's why she imagined, she wished that she could become smaller and get through that small door, so that she can get into the lovely garden and enjoy that beautiful garden. Okay children, so this is our beautiful story, Alice in Wonderland. Once again we discuss this story briefly. Listen carefully. One day Alice was sat with her sister under a tree, and she was listening to her sister reading a story. Suddenly Alice saw a white rabbit was running very fast. Here the rabbit was very different. Why? Because here the rabbit had pink eyes and wore a red waistcoat, and it carried a big watch. And the rabbit could talk. So Alice became curious to know about this talking rabbit. Now the rabbit started running. Alice was running after the rabbit. Suddenly the rabbit jumped into the rabbit hole. Alice also jumped with the rabbit, and the rabbit went down and down into the rabbit hole. Alice also went down and down into the rabbit hole. Okay, and here she was wondering that she must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Suddenly she landed on a pile of dry leaves. She thought that it is a strange place, and she was looking for the white rabbit. Again she saw this white rabbit, but the rabbit was disappeared. And the rabbit said, "Oh my whiskers, and here's how late it's getting while disappearing." Then Alice stood up and she saw a small door about 15 inches high. It was too small for her to go through. Alice saw a glass table and she found a golden key on that glass table. She tried to open the lock of that small door with that key and it opened. Now she looked into the beautiful garden she had ever seen. Okay, and a garden with beds of bright flowers and cool fountains. But she could not even get her head through that doorway. So she wished she could become smaller and go and get through that small door. Okay, children, I hope you are enjoying this lesson. Okay, now let us see new words meanings one by one. Here first word is scamper. Scamper means to move fast with quick light steps. I repeat, to move fast with quick light steps. Hurried. Hurried means done quickly. Hurried, done quickly. Next word is waistcoat. Waistcoat means a close fitting waist length garment typically having no sleeves or collar. Okay, a close fitting waist length garment typically having no sleeves or collar. Okay, next one is popped. Popped means go somewhere often without notice. I repeat, go somewhere often without notice means popped. Next one is disappear. Disappear means go missing, that means vanished. Disappear means go missing. Next one is thump. Thump means hit or strike heavily. Next one is whiskers. Whisker. Whisker means long hair projecting from the face of animals. Okay, whisker means long hair projecting from the face of animals. Next one is delight. Delight means happiness. Okay, delight means happiness. Okay, children. So children, you have to write those new words meanings in your CW. So children, take care of yourself and bye.